Hi guys, here today with a bit of a demo, a bit of a try on of some Korean makeup products. Some of these are seriously cult Korean products, ones that a lot of people love. Some of these are somewhat newer products on the market. Some of them are a little bit weird and different to what you might be used to seeing in more Western brands of makeup. I have only gotten into Korean makeup maybe 6 months ago, but I've really been enjoying testing stuff out. I found some really cool brands, things that I really like, some products that have just become staples in my routine, and I just wanted to test out sort of a plethora of Korean products for you today. So here we go, get ready for scary no makeup face in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with. We've got some redness, some darkness, some unevenness, some blemishes, some incredibly sparse eyebrows. So we will see what these Korean products can do. So my skin is clean and moisturized, so we're going to go straight into the base product. And this is the Precious Mineral Any Cushion from Etude House. So this is a cushion foundation, which if you're unfamiliar with the concept is a compact foundation but in liquid form. So it comes with this little puff here, which is made of sort of like a microfiber, and I know normally any kind of applicator that comes with a product, you're going to get a better result with whatever makeup brushes you have on hand, but not the case with cushion foundations. They're actually 100% designed to be used with this little puff, and you do actually get a better finish by using this puff. It's completely different to any kind of other puff you may have come across before. So this rests on top here, and if we open up this little compartment, this is where the actual foundation is, and this is actually the cushion. So this is kind of like a sponge that is soaked with the product. So we push our puff into the sponge, get some product on it, and you just pat in to apply. So my mirror is actually over here, so if you see me looking that way, that is why. So that is one thin layer of the product all over my skin. As you can tell, it is quite light in coverage and color. And if you're wondering what shade I'm using, it is light beige number 2. And it is quite pale, but it will oxidize a tiny bit. And as you can tell, it's actually matching my neck quite well. The Etude House cushion is actually pretty inexpensive as well. It's about $12 to $15, I've seen it. But I feel like the quality is actually really nice, and it feels lovely and light on the skin. It's also quite luminous, which is nice. So we'll move on to concealer. And for under the eyes, I have the Skinfood Salmon Dark Circle Concealer Cream. And this is sort of a corrector concealer, so it is that salmony color that's fantastic for under the eyes. And as well as being a salmon color, I believe this actually has a little bit of salmon oil in it, so it is super hydrating for under the eyes as well. So if you have dry under eyes, this is probably fantastic. I personally haven't had issues with it creasing too much, especially if I do set it with a powder, and I usually do use another concealer on top of this since I use it more as a corrector. So if I just pat this in under the eyes. So I'm sure you can see a huge difference there. This eye is much brighter now. This one doesn't have any concealer yet, so it's still quite dark. So we'll go ahead and do the other eye. So there is the Skinfood concealer on. Now I don't actually have a Korean face concealer, so I'm actually just going to go in with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind on top of that concealer, and also just cover any blemishes that are going on at the moment. Alrighty, so we're done with concealer for now. Moving on to the powder. I'm going to be using this powder compact from Too Cool for School. So obviously the packaging is super adorable. This has SPF 25 PA++, which is never bad. This comes with a little puff as well, but I'm not going to use that, just a regular type of powder puff. And once again, it's got the little door that you open to get to the product. So there's the powder. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and set under my eyes. I'm going to take this little kabuki and lightly dust through my T-zone. There's powder. I actually really like this powder. It is super smoothing and mattifying. I really like the texture of it, and it seems to last a good long time. So highly recommend this. Finally, it is time to move on to eyebrows so I can look a little bit more human. This is the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow Pencil. And this is in number 3, which I think is something like dark brunette. So we have the little spoolie on one end and the actual product on the other. And I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but it's actually a little triangle of product. So definitely different to most other brow products I own, but very good nonetheless. So let's brush through brows, and I might actually use the mirror on here to fill them in. There we go, so brows are done. I do find this product to be a tiny bit too warm for me on a regular basis. I think next time I would try one of their shades with a little bit more grey taupe colour in it, but it's not terrible and I like the actual texture of the product. Okay, so time to move on to eyes. I have several products here. As a base, we're going to go with this product here from Innisfree. This is the Glow Liquid Shadow, and this is in shade 1, and it's just a very pale golden colour. So a little bit of that on the eyelids and blend with finger. So as you can see, this is a very pretty, shimmery, brightening base, and this stuff sets. This is not going to budge. You've got a few seconds to blend it out, and then after that it is there for the rest of the day until you take it off. This stuff is pretty fantastic. And over that, I'm going to go in with one of the Aritaum Mono Eyes. This is in number 97. Very, very pretty shimmery brown shade. So I'm just going to go in with my Luxe Soft Definer from Zoeva. Tap off some of that. And just a light wash all over that cream product. So there is that base shade all done. It is very shimmery, very pretty. Deepened it up a tiny bit from that cream colour. I'm just going for a very soft look today, so I'm going to take this Holika Holika eyeshadow here. This is a matte shade in SBR07, which looks like that. So I'm just going to take Zoeva's Luxe Defined Crease to very lightly blend that other shimmery colour out. Since I have quite hooded eyes, I like taking that matte colour up a tiny bit higher. Also going to take that same matte shade under the eyes, just smudge it in with a pencil brush. So I think I'm going to leave it there for the eyeshadow. I'm going to go in with some eyelash colours. These are the pink and gold ones from Etude House. And I'm going to actually go in with an Etude House mascara as well. This is the Lash Perm 3-Step Volumecara and Curling. So the way this works, it has a little arrow here that says stop, and then it has steps 1, 2 and 3, and you twist the tube for the different steps, and you're meant to put one layer of each. So I've got it on step 1. That's what the brush looks like, sort of natural haired banana shaped wand. So that is step 1. The wand back in and move it to step 2. So that is the second coat, that is step 2. So we will go in with step 3. And that is step 3. So pretty large, voluminous lashes, definitely a good effect if you like a very lashy look. It's probably more mascara than I would wear on a day-to-day basis, but not bad. And I'll pop that back on to step 1 and just put a tiny bit underneath the eyes. So there we go, eyes are done. Moving on to blush. We have this one here from Moly. This is their Petite Blusher Delight in shade 1, which is just a very pretty pink. Comes with a very adorable little puff, which I probably will not be using. I will grab a blush brush. So blusher on, that is what the shade looks like. These are actually a really nice texture. They go on really lovely and smooth. You can definitely build up the colour more than what I'm wearing here, but that'll do for today. And now all that's left is lips, and that is the strangest product that I'm going to be demoing for you guys today. This is the Berrisom My Lip Tint Pack in Virgin Red. The tube looks like this, and what this is this is a thick sort of gel consistency here that you smooth over your lips in a pretty thick layer, leave for a good 10 minutes until it sets. And when you peel off, it sort of becomes like plasticky vinyl feeling on your lips. You peel that off and it leaves behind a long-lasting, much sheerer tint. So I will demo that for you right now. I think I'm actually going to put this on with a cotton bud instead of directly from the tube. I would use a lip brush, but I'm not sure how this slightly interesting goop would affect a lip brush. I don't know if it would wash it out properly, so I'm just going to use this, hoping I can get a pretty decent smooth application. So there is that, quite messily applied on the lips, but it should look much better once I peel off this outer layer. So I better stop talking now, let it set, and I will be back to peel it off in about 10 minutes. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but my lips are looking even more crazy than before since I forgot what I was doing for a second and pressed my lips together and they got a bit stuck. But the product has now dried, so we will attempt to peel it off. So there is the remnants of the tint, so that is pretty horrific. Most of that came off in one go, so that is the colour left behind, and I don't know why, but any kind of tint or stain always works better on my bottom lip than my top lip. I don't know, the skin must be different for some reason, but my top lip never takes the stain as strongly as my bottom lip does, so I look a little bit uneven, but mostly I think that worked really well. So I've used this and others like it. I have a few different brands that do the same thing several times before, and I do find that they're not actually anywhere near as drying as you would expect. I expected once this dried on my lips just to feel the moisture sucked out and to feel sort of terrible and sort of crumbly, but it doesn't really, and I do find that these do last a good long time, and they last a good long time with lip balm over the top. You can easily smack some lip balm over this if you are feeling dry throughout the day, and it for the most part won't affect the staying power or the colour. So there is that. That is all of the products. This is the finished look. So all of these are Korean products, except I think the only non-Korean thing that I used was my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I will probably test out some other Korean concealers in the future, but for now the only one I own is the Skinfood's Dark Circle Salmon Concealer, which I think actually I really like. It works lovely, but I do prefer it as a corrector than just a straight out concealer. I do feel like I need another concealer on top, even though the colour is actually pretty good for me. It doesn't look too weirdly orange once I've blended it in. So I actually really enjoy all of the products that I use today. All of the ones I show you I think perform really well. I really like the Etude House Precious Mineral Any Cushion. I've tried a few different cushion foundations, and this is one of my favorites, to be honest, and it is at the lower end of the price spectrum, but I feel like it works really well. I feel like it looks nice on my skin. It's very brightening. It evens things out enough. I don't like super heavy cakey coverage, so I find something like this is just fine for me on an everyday basis. I've been really impressed with a lot of Korean eyeshadows I've tried. I really like the ones that I showed you today. If you are looking for something long lasting, then this Innisfree is fantastic. Those are the things that I wanted to demo for you today, show you how they work, show you how they look on my skin. Yeah, so what do you think? What products have you tried, if any? Also, if you are looking to try any of these products, I buy all of my Korean products online. I don't know anywhere near me that I can find them in person. But I've used 3 separate websites, all of whom I had really positive experiences with, so I will link them down below. But they are Korea Apart, Jolse, which I'm not positive that that's how you pronounce it, and BeautyNet Korea, but all 3 have worked wonderfully for me. They sort of have differing price points, but I feel like they're all reasonably priced and you can always sort of find what you're looking for. They have a vast array of brands on there. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like the way the look turned out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.